Imagine walking into a Starbucks in New York, ordering your usual tall latte and paying $4.30 without a second thought. Now picture doing the same in Bangkok, only to find that same cup of coffee costing just $150. Or perhaps you're in Zurich, Switzerland, where your latte sets you back a cool $5.76. What if we told you this simple cup of coffee could actually reveal hidden truths about global currencies and the world economy? Welcome to the Starbucks Index, an alternative way of understanding the global economy, one latte at a time. The Starbucks Index is modeled after the famous Big Mac Index, which The Economist started in the 1980s as an attempt to explain economic theories using the universally recognizable hamburger. But coffee, and more specifically the tall latte served by Starbucks, offers a new spin on this idea. Where the Big Mac is a classic of fast food, Starbucks represents a modern urban lifestyle. Its menu, branding, and approach are remarkably standardized across much of the world, making it a unique lens for global comparison. At the heart of the Starbucks Index is the economic concept of purchasing power parity, or PPP. PPP suggests that in an ideal world, identical goods or services, like your tall latte, should cost the same everywhere once currency differences are accounted for. If a latte costs much less in Thailand than in the US, it could mean the Thai baht is undervalued compared to the US dollar. Meanwhile, a pricier Swiss latte might signal an overvalued franc. Of course, there are good reasons to use a latte instead of a hamburger for this kind of analysis. While McDonald's is global, its menu varies quite a lot, especially in places where beef or pork are less commonly eaten. Starbucks, on the other hand, often serves the very same drinks in the same paper cups, from New York to Nairobi. As coffee increasingly straddles the line between luxury and daily ritual, its price can shed light not only on currency values but also on culture, cost of living, and even local business strategies. But beware, the Starbucks Index is far from perfect. Latte prices don't just reflect currency, they're also shaped by local wages, rent, taxes, and Starbucks' own branding strategies. In Norway, high labor costs drive prices up. In China, Starbucks might position itself as an aspirational luxury. Other indexes, like the latte price surveys from Finder.com or the Wall Street Journal, cast an even wider net, comparing dozens of countries and shining a spotlight on just how much a coffee break can vary around the world. In the end, a tall latte at Starbucks isn't just a drink, it's an economic indicator you can hold in your hand. Though it may not have all the answers, the Starbucks Index transforms global economics into something personal, relatable, and, best of all, easy to understand, one sip at a time. At the heart of the Starbucks Index is the economic concept of purchasing power parity, or PPP. PPP suggests that in an ideal world, identical goods or services, like your tall latte, should cost the same everywhere once currency differences are accounted for. If a latte costs much less in Thailand than in the US, it could mean the Thai baht is undervalued compared to the US dollar. Meanwhile, a pricier Swiss latte might signal an overvalued franc. Of course, there are good reasons to use a latte instead of a hamburger for this kind of analysis. While McDonald's is global, its menu varies quite a lot, especially in places where beef or pork are less commonly eaten. Starbucks, on the other hand, often serves the very same drinks in the same paper cups, from New York to Nairobi. As coffee increasingly straddles the line between luxury and daily ritual, its price can shed light not only on currency values but also on culture, cost of living, and even local business strategies. But beware, the Starbucks Index is far from perfect. Latte prices don't just reflect currency, they're also shaped by local wages, rent, taxes, and Starbucks' own branding strategies. In Norway, high labor costs drive prices up. In China, Starbucks might position itself as an aspirational luxury. Other indexes, like the latte price surveys from Finder.com or the Wall Street Journal, cast an even wider net, comparing dozens of countries and shining a spotlight on just how much a coffee break can vary around the world. In the end, a tall latte at Starbucks isn't just a drink, it's an economic indicator you can hold in your hand. Though it may not have all the answers, the Starbucks Index transforms global economics into something personal, relatable, and, best of all, easy to understand, one sip at a time. Of course, there are good reasons to use a latte instead of a hamburger for this kind of analysis. While McDonald's is global, its menu varies quite a lot, especially in places where beef or pork are less commonly eaten. Starbucks, on the other hand, often serves the very same drinks in the same paper cups, from New York to Nairobi. As coffee increasingly straddles the line between luxury and daily ritual, its price can shed light not only on currency values but also on culture, cost of living, and even local business strategies. But beware, the Starbucks index is far from perfect. Latte prices don't just reflect currency, they're also shaped by local wages, rent, taxes, and Starbucks' own branding strategies. In Norway, high labor costs drive prices up. In China, Starbucks might position itself as an aspirational luxury. Other indexes, like the latte price surveys from Finder.com or the Wall Street Journal, cast an even wider net, comparing dozens of countries and shining a spotlight on just how much a coffee break can vary around the world. In the end, a tall latte at Starbucks isn't just a drink, it's an economic indicator you can hold in your hand. Though it may not have all the answers, the Starbucks index transforms global economics into something personal, relatable, and best of all, easy to understand, one sip at a time.